Hello everyone and welcome back to Seattle Nineball Open World Nineball Tour ranking event. In the booth is Christian Youngers here with Zach Ross. How's it going, Zach?
Good morning, everyone. Glad to be back. Glad you're all here with us.
We're getting ready here for a B-side match. Early start, 10 a.m. on the dot. It's going to be Raymond Linares, the Floridian, playing against one of the local up-and-comers, Alex Brown. Should be a pretty fun match. B-side action here. Had a good start to day one yesterday. Some pretty solid matches I remember seeing. Maybe one or two hills that we could call out, but all in all, kind of the pros for the most part did their work, put in their stuff. There were a couple of good A-side matches late into the night yesterday. One of them being Raymond versus Jeremy Long. That kind of went back and forth. And I think another close one was Jack Kiske versus Sean Lewis, two local Washingtonians. But who's your favorite in this one, Zach?
Well, I caught a little bit of Alex Brown's match yesterday afternoon, and he seemed to be in form. I wasn't able to see Raymond's match, but he's definitely no slouch, so pretty excited to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, for those who are wondering, Raymond is a 701 Fargo rate, so has about a 100-point advantage on Alex, and here he is to break off. Raymond. Just missed the break low, but watch this 9-ball. This is the start of a match you'd ever want. Oh, man, oh, man.
Golden break, first rack.
For those of you who don't know, our sponsors here for this event, World Nineball Tour, Q-Tech, the main sponsor, Matchroom bringing this event to the Northwest, Table Fitters out in Idaho, Zach doing a great job fitting the tables, Andy Billiard Cloth sponsoring this tournament and this club, Sandro Menzel Photography, great photographer for pool players here in the Northwest, and Lippman Lights, probably the best lights you can set up in your pool hall, bar none, in my opinion. Doesn't give any glare, doesn't give any sort of a...
I know as soon as I have space in my place to get a pool table, I will be installing Lippman lights. I really like those lights.
My favorite part is it doesn't strain your eyes. You don't actually see the light direct to your face, so...
Yeah, it kind of diffuses it without,
without
casting
reducing
any shadows.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, can he replicate this golden break scenario?
One ball went to the top right, just like the previous rack.
Yeah, misses it in the side. And it glances off the cue ball there, but with no luck.
With the one going in the corner, do you think he is hitting the rack a bit too full, or?
I'm going to have to look back, I think. Yeah, typically when they hit the rack too full, I think the one goes short of the corner. I think there's kind of like a teeter-totter effect, so far too full, I think it comes short of the pocket. Then you start to cut it into the pocket, then you start to overcut it, and then it goes high, and then you start to overcut it too much, and then it goes low again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly, but I feel like there's actually two kind of angles that it goes in. But there's plenty of videos out there from a lot of pro players. I know Carl Boyses has a couple up there on how to break, and it's kind of just hitting the sweet spot and the sweet speed with a bit of draw. So a decent push out here from Raymond.
I think Alex will take this on.
This is, the ball's makeable, but obviously he's put a lot of traffic in his path to get back down table for the 3. So working his cue ball around this 9-7, not sure if it's worth it.
Because if he goes forward on this 2, he's likely to hit the sort of the face of the 9, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm almost thinking to just play the cross bank safety. He's looking for the window. I don't think there's a window there between 7 and 9, although it might be maybe a ball width wide.
Yeah, I think he might like kind of hit that edge of the right side of the 9, and then that's a scratch into the top right. So it's going to be a really touchy.
He's actually got a bigger window than I thought. This is actually kind of a shootable shot. So he's got to hit that window between 9-7 if he's going forward. And yeah, didn't quite stroke it as well as I've seen him in the past. So I wonder if he's just thinking a bit too much about just pocketing the ball. Or sorry, just getting his cue ball down the right path, excuse me. But he's going to leave somewhat easy starter here for Raymond. 3-ball doesn't pass the 6 or 4. So we're going to probably see him try to play shape for the left-hand side pocket, I imagine. Yeah, he might have to just work this with a bit of left-hand side. He's looking at this line. He has to get close to the 7 without touching it so that he can hit there on the half diamond away from the left side pocket. It's pretty tricky, this shot. He's looking at the other side of the side now. And I think I prefer that one a bit more because you can also run into the purple, just kind of half ball, and you're unlikely to scratch as well. So I feel like I like playing with a bit more left and kind of either just glancing off the purple or missing it altogether. He's going to go on the side here. Nope. Oh, wow. So he did his first shot.
That was good speed.
And that was perfect, yeah. I think he's dead on this 3-ball.
Some other matches we have going on the Ox YouTube page. We have Masahiro Nakahara versus Dan Louie on table 2. We have Dustin Hinshaw versus Stan Tarango on table 4. And on table 5, we have Sue Orr versus Nick DeLeon. So some really solid early matches here. And all these matches are B-side matches. So if you need to sweat that action, you should certainly take a look because you might not see them again.
That's right. Yep. We've got B-side action to start here and think until 2:30 p.m. We're going to get the last big round of our A-side games going. There's some good A-side matches coming up, though, too. A lot of solid local players that, everybody knows to be some of the top players. And
James DeVee versus Tyler Steyer coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be going. That might be the TBT.
And we also have Jonas Sauto versus Daniel Sardoncilio.
Oh, man, I changed my mind. That might actually be the TV match.
I was looking at this morning. I was like, who do you choose? All right, so Raymond's going to have to put some draw on this to go back 2 rails for the 6. One thing I've started to develop in my own game and just watching some coaching on YouTube is for longer draw shots, just extending your bridge hand a bit. It feels a little bit awkward at first, but you don't have to put as much power into your draw because you are extending the cue through the bottom portion of the cue, or your stick through the cue ball, and kind of grips the cue a little bit more without having to put more power.
I see. Okay. Speaking of cues, too, have you noticed Raymond's playing with one of these half carbon fiber, half wood shafts?
That looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks sweet. I think he's going to overrun a bit here.
I wonder what brand of cue that is.
I'm not sure. I think it's a custom cue, obviously, so
Yeah.
probably want to give him a question afterwards and see. He may or may not join us in the booth at some point today. I know he's down to do commentary, but also interested in the setup as well. Pretty steep on this cut here. Gonna have to play short side position on the 8, I think. Pretty good position here. Would have liked to roll a bit farther, but he's definitely got the cut. Definitely think he'll take this. Just needs to put just a bit of left-hand side to come 2 rails in for the 9. This is a shot you practice that comes up all the time, and he's hit it pretty perfectly.
Yeah.
Well done there from Raymond.
Definitely seems to be in form early on.
So rack number 2 goes down, and time for Alex to get in this match somehow, some way.
Yeah, I think he only had the 1 shot on that 2 ball, this rack.
So he hasn't really caught the rack there. I think he might have also had some gaps as the 9 ball kind of flew straight up table. You can kind of hear it didn't really quite pop that clean, that break, so something definitely went wrong there. Fortunate 1 is rolled up to the top cushion, so he's not going to leave a shot on. I think Alex is going to have to push out. I think I like pushing out to this right-hand side of the table, maybe, and leaving the left edge of the 1.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I guess the only potential fear there is that Raymond could put the cue ball behind the 7.
Right.
And sort of send this 1 back down table.
Yeah, I guess for that reason, I don't want to take. I don't want to leave him the right hand side of the 1. So I'd almost want to roll and kind of tap into the 5, the purple 5. So he left him this angle. This is also fine. This though leaves him a line to get in behind the 7, like you said.
Don Davidson asking if there's no Fargo rate up on the screen. Does that mean there is no rating? No, that's not accurate. It looks like Digital Pool doesn't have some of the Fargo rates loaded into the system, and that's sort of what is feeding the names and match scores here. So Raymond Linares is a 701 Fargo rate.
Yep. Good morning, Stacy Medina.
Yeah, good morning, Stacy.
Good to see you in the chat. He's definitely not someone to snooze at. He is a U.S. APA amateur champion, I believe. Previous amateur champion and 3-time collegiate national champion.
Yep, that's the defense I thought he would be doing here.
Yeah, and that was kind of the problem with that safety. I'd almost like for Alex to have, guarded against that safety more and force him to play the safety where you thin off the left edge of the 1 and play the cue ball around the table. At least with that, the 1 kind of sells out to the corner and it makes it a little bit more difficult. NRL, do you know if the Dominguez versus Long match will be on the stream table? I'm not sure yet on the table assignments for the A-side matches coming up at 2:30, so stay tuned for that, but it most likely will be on one of the stream tables. If you take a look at our YouTube channel on Ox Billiards, you can see a second stream over there that shows 4 tables going at the same time, kind of in a quad view. No commentary, just scoreboards, so folks can see a few more people in the tournament and how they're doing. I think we're going to be playing what looks like 2 or 3 B-side matches before we get to our A-side action today.
Yeah, it looks like we do have some A-side matches scheduled at 1 p.m. today.
1 p.m., okay.
However, there are more B-side matches, scheduled for about 11:30.
The 5 tied up here now. So he's gotten awfully tricky. Looking to cross bank this one, send it up table behind the 9 maybe. Ooh, just misses the glance too. So it doesn't get the full snooker, but
Yeah, he left a little bit of a look here. But
nothing really, yeah.
Little score update on the other tables here. It looks like Dan Louie is currently up 1-0 over Masahiro Nakahara. Sue Orr is down on the 9-ball for the first point of that match. And Stan Tarango is currently up 2-0 over Dustin Hinshaw. Looks like Sue sank the 9, so she's up 1-0 over Nick DeLeon.
That'd be a fun match to watch. Nick DeLeon, so you must have lost his match yesterday, huh? Forget who he played.
Looks like Nick lost to Keith Yip, 9-3.
Gotcha.
Keith is a 655 Fargo rated player.
So a bit of an upset there, maybe. Okay.
All right, so Alex is going to have to thread the needle here. Pretty good job. Unfortunate run into that 3. So it's going to give Raymond a pretty good chance to run at least 4 balls here. 5-8 is still a little bit of an issue. For those of you just tuning in, this is a B-side match between Raymond Linares and Alex Brown. My name is Zach Ross. Happy to have you all here this morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you're viewing this match from. Alright, so this might be a decent opportunity for Alex. Not quite sure on the potting of the ball, but maybe able to put some distance between the cue and the 1. Stacy watching from Lakewood, Washington. Good to have you here. I think Alex is going to try to put the cue ball right behind the 7 here. Maybe send the 1 to the other side of the 3. Don't really need to do too much here. It's a good safety. Looks pretty frozen to that 7, so looks like Raymond's just going to go just to the other side of that point on the pocket. Is Sue up 3-0? I'm actually, unfortunately, not sure. The players are supposed to be updating their scores. I can probably have somebody go check here in just a moment. All right, so there's a good contact there and hide on Raymond's part. Doug is asking, good morning, is it Christian and or Zach in the booth? Yes, Zach is currently here. That is me. Christian is also here. He had to step away for a moment, but we'll be back shortly. Yeah, it's nice to see some defensive battles here. I know Nineball, for the most part, can be an offensive game, but it is nice to see these every now and then. Good jump, unfortunate rollout there. It's going to give Raymond a pretty decent opportunity. Nice approach there and pot on Raymond's part. Now that the 5 is free from the 8, I don't see too many issues. I mean, obviously, the 2 to the 3 and then going from the 3 to the 4 might be a little touchy, but I suspect a player of Raymond's caliber will be able to handle this pretty well. And this cloth is rolling pretty fast, so you actually don't need to overplay your shot.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you needed to see my...
No, no. Thank you for that.
I think if it were me, I would be playing a little bit of bottom to go 2 rails around. Top rail, side rail, and back between the 5 and the 6. JP is asking, is Eddie Mattia playing in this? No, Eddie Mattia is not playing in this Seattle Open. All right, playing with straight top seemed to be a better solution. Quickly learning. All right, so Raymond can do a little bit of a pullback here. Leave himself for the 6. Giving himself a little extra angle just to ensure that he has good vision on the 7. Okay, Stacy, it looks like the Sue Orr and Nick match has been updated. The current score is 3-2, Nick over Sue currently. All right, needs a big bounce here to get around the 9. Ends up in good position. Yeah, you're welcome, Stacy. Dick Babcock, when will Blake Baker play again? Let me just take a look here at our schedule. Blake Baker has a match set for 1 p.m. today. He is playing Max Eberly, so that should be a pretty strong match. All right, so Raymond just needs to hit this with the bottom. Came up a little steep on this 8-ball. I suspect he'll be able to just go back and forth, though, and leave himself for the 9 in the top right corner. Doug is asking, do we have a separate room for commentary booth? It is actually behind the bar, I guess, if you will, where you check in.
Snack shop.
The what?
Snack shop.
The snack shop. So I've been informed by the owner that we refer to this area as the snack shop. Yeah, Raymond seems very poised in this match this morning. Really just having a nice even keel flow to his shooting. And with that, it puts Raymond ahead 3-0 over Alex Brown. This is a shorter race to 7, so pulling ahead quickly will definitely keep the momentum for that player.
Ooh, I got it back at the wrong time here as Raymond goes straight into the drink. Someone's asking, is there a live bracket posted somewhere? It is posted on the Facebook and YouTube channels in the description over on Ox Billiards. But we can post a quick link in the chat for you.
That makes a lot of sense.
Nice easy starter here from Alex. Gotta be careful with those sides. Wow.
Jeez. That was sort of the only opening shot he's had
Yeah,
in
for real.
these 4 racks.
Yeah, a lot of strong safeties from Raymond and hasn't let him much. Yeah, someone mentioning about how we have to ring the doorbell here. We are right next to the doorbell for folks to enter, but we do have a doorman as of right now, so that helps make our life a little bit easier as commentators. And with that shot right there, I think you can kind of tell Raymond's getting a little bit more in tune with the table speed. It's looking a little bit like a more natural shot. He did kind of cross the line in that position, but it's bang on straight on this 3, so starts to show you just sort of how in line he is or how in tune he is with the speed. But you gotta feel for Alex because it feels like he just hasn't gotten started in this match. It's been all Raymond so far.
Do you think he draws back on this 4 to leave for the 5 in the top right?
I think he might have too much angle for that, but he could, instead of drawing, kind of doing a forced follow maybe off of one cushion and playing that shot in the top right, like you said. Sitting a center ball here, so it looks like he might just be stunning his cue ball. One rail. Playing 5 in the right corner. It's fairly straight on this purple, and I think if he draws his cue ball back, there might be enough angle to end up on the left side of the table, kind of in the middle of the tables or so. Could also go forward, but I think I like just screwing back here because the tables are playing so quick. I think it's enough angle. This is a missable ball though, since if you just catch that right jaw, you're going to be shooting this a little bit higher pace, and I can always cause that weird rattle on these Rassons. No, you hit it pretty good. And like I said, the middle of the table, this position is not that bad. 8 ball's pretty available over the pocket, so I don't mind this. If he ends up a little bit too thin, he can always use more rails to play in behind.
Yeah, and I think the players now are well adjusted to the cloth, and it seems that they understand that they could use slightly less power in their shots and still get the distance that they need.
Yeah, right. So maybe gonna go underneath the 9 here, unless he can spin his cue ball a little bit. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Another shot there, not really overran the position that time, so I think he's starting to get a feel for it. And it really comes down, I think, you start to see a lot of the top players, they're using spin to get their position and their distance, not so much speed or stun, just because it's so much more difficult to gauge. That shot that he just had on the 6 to the 8 there, and the other shot, I think it was the 3 to the 4 or 2 to the 4 or something like that. Just sort of using the nice spinning cue ball to get where you need to go. And the onslaught continues of Alex Brown in this one. Raymond 4-0 up.
Raymond with another powerful break. Unfortunately, the 1 is going to stick up to the 4 here. Not sure if he's able to kind of glue the cue to the 4, considering how straight the cue ball is on the 1.
That was like a good bank shot there. Nicely done. Yeah, Alex Brown, I think, just eager to show his stuff. I know he's been putting a lot of good work in. I just don't think he's gotten quite the start he's looking for here. You have to think it next easy chance he gets at the table, which might be coming up soon. He's going to have to capitalize. This is a pretty makeable jump shot, though. It's fairly straight on. This is kind of the level 1 jump shot you practice into the middle pocket. Pockets it, and he's got to look.
Yeah, what a position there.
Nice shot.
This is Mike Fox Billiards. We are streaming day 2 of the Seattle Nineball. It looks like connection is not going through the YouTube channel. Call back. Let me know what we need to do. Hope everything will be good.
It's a little bit thin on this 3 ball, I think. He's just looking at which part of the rail he's going to be contacting, because the side pocket is a little bit in play, and He might choose to hold his cue ball with the 5, the purple 5 there. Go off of the top cushion and run into it full ball.
I think he might be bumping into the 4 here, right?
Yeah, the 4 is also an option. I think the 4 is actually a little bit safer because you're pushing it out into open space if you hit it pretty full, so it's a good call.
Oh, that
Just managed to
that was
glance
really
it.
good.
Yeah. That's where, he went over that side to see kind of what the angle naturally was going to be. And normally you want to go with the natural angle and not try to manipulate it too much, as you can overwork the cue ball, but did really well there. This is looking pretty good for Raymond. His cue ball's going to have to run a little bit here. He's in trouble.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate leave.
I think he might be dead frozen to this ball. Looks like.
Yeah, he's going to have to kind of screw this one, right? A little bit inside right.
Yeah, just to work it a bit. He's trying to make it in one of the side pockets. And a mistake from Raymond.
Ends up being a pretty fortunate outcome, though.
Yeah, it doesn't leave much. So Alex Brown still not really gotten a good starter. He just had that one ball in hand situation that goes straight into the side pocket. So he's going to just have to hold his nerve and bear down here. It's a matter of when the balls are not really rolling in your favor, it becomes a game of how much can you push it? How many safeties can you execute to sort of turn the pool gods in your favor? You might think of it that way. Looks like we're live now on matchroompool.com, so if you guys are tuning in from there, welcome, welcome. We're also live here at Ox Billiards on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, so drop us a like and a subscribe. It's free and it helps us out a lot. And he's not going to like this safety here, although has tied up the 9-7 here. Now the 7 only really available to the side pocket. I think it's a bit unlucky for Alex, but he might have just left a decent angle to get in behind these two balls or even break them out if he draws off this purple 5 into the right rail. And looks close. No, he's just playing the safety in behind those two. Smart shot. He's definitely getting the speed of the table down, Raymond.
Yeah, and I think with his lead, too, he can be a little bit more careful. You know, just puts additional pressure on Alex Brown.
There's a view of our other referee, Sam Rabito, Northwest local here, helping us out. Decent jump shot chance for Alex, but it's just overcut it. Once again, hasn't left it too easy, but this might be an angle to roll in behind those two balls. So you can kind of play the same safety again if you like. And I almost think if he's playing that safety, try to run into the 9 full at a nice slow speed, just so that you open up those two balls, but also get the hook behind the 7. So he's looking at there, so He can play this shot either offensive or not, I think. He's just got to have to be intentional about which one he chooses. I think he's firing at this. No, it told me he was just holding his cue ball for the same pocket, maybe. It must pass then into the... Yeah, it must pass into this lower left corner pocket. There you can see, yeah, he would have been good if he just pockets that 5 ball, so he was going for it. No, gotta bide your time if you're Alex. Just take your medicine. If you keep putting down good safeties, you are gonna get a shot. This one's...
Yeah, he would have liked that to roll a little bit more behind the 7.
Yeah, it's halfway decent, but just gonna contain for now. Not a lot that Raymond can do without really coming up with a good speed control shot. The only shot I really see is crossing the 5 ball, maybe trying to make it in the left corner or holding it on that side of the table while you send your cue ball up and down and try to get in behind the 7-9 again.
Question in the chat, where can I buy those pool shirts? We do have these shirts available on the oxbilliards.com website.
Yeah, and obviously each player sporting their own gear, their own sponsors, and their own jerseys. This is not bad, just separating the balls. Nice thing is 7 and 9 are both blocking the corners, so just got to lay down one solid safety, I think, if you're Alex, to try to get an opening.
We do have other matches currently streaming on the Ox YouTube page. We are simulcasting 3 other matches. On table 2, we have Masahiro Nakahara versus Dan Louie. Dan Louie is currently up 4-1. We have Nick DeLeon versus Sue Orr on table 5. Nick is currently up 5-3. And on table 4, we have Stan Tarango versus Dustin Henshaw. And Stan just sank the 9-ball to bring his lead to 7-1.
And 7-1, that's a B-side match, so that's over, right?
That's a game, yep.
So Stan Tarango advancing over on table 4. I know there's a lot of Stan fans out there. He did lose his A-side match to Daniel Sardencilio earlier in this tournament. It was a pretty good match. I think they were in a bit of a slog, back and forth action, from what I heard. But he advances, so Stan still in it. A local legend here in the Northwest. Still playing good, too. He's been winning some tournaments recently. He's a machine on the bar box as well. This is another good safety from Raymond, separating the balls and the 2 cushions. You're really just playing to separate them and keep a good object ball, and getting in behind the 7-9 is really just a bonus, usually. Obviously, the pros maybe have a little bit different standard they hold themselves to on these safeties, but it's already hard enough as it is to get this separation just like this. It's going to be tough. I wonder if he's going to go full into it or not. So a nice response from Alex. Now leaving Raymond in a pickle. So Stan finished runner-up last weekend. I think it was to Max Eberly, and I think Max is here too. He's still on the A side. Going to be showing up later today. So Raymond trying to play this 3-rail cue ball down and behind the 9. I really like that safety when there's a ball sort of on the rail, on the right long rail, blocking the top right corner pocket. This shot is almost automatic for the pro level, as you can see. Cue ball's usually pretty decent chance to come in behind these balls up table, and you're almost never selling out anything but a really long range combo. So unfortunate for Raymond, the only thing missing there was that extra blocker for added insurance, and had to get a perfect cue ball. And now Alex, his work has paid off finally. He just has to capitalize here. He's not going to get any slack from Raymond, who looks tough and focused here. A little bit tricky, so he's a little bit off angle. Could have used a bit more draw off of this ball, so he's going to have to force follow here and come around the 8 2 rails. Looks like he's elevating a bit, but I imagine it's still a top spin shot. Needs it to run. I think he needed a bit more right-hand side on that shot.
Yeah, it came up a little short.
Yeah, wanted to hit maybe closer to the half diamond on the left rail to get the angle of the cue ball coming more towards the center spot. He's still got a shot, but he's going to be losing his cue ball, I think. But if he has the angle, you might want to sort of slow spin this 8 ball in. No, he's just going full safety here. Or he's cutting it to the other corner, sorry. This is a bit more of a pro side miss situation if he overcuts it, but he's going to sell out a shot for Raymond. And difficulties continue for Alex Brown. That was a good opportunity, I think, to get out there.
All right, with that, Raymond extends his lead over Alex Brown 5-0. All right, we've got some really great matches going on throughout the day. Thank you all for tuning in. We're all here for the love of the game.
Yep, this is a match between Raymond Linares. He's I would call him semi-pro player, maybe. I know he's playing in a lot of pro events, so maybe he's a pro player, but plays in a lot of WNT and other events. From Florida. He's a 701 Fargo rate, 704, something around that range. He's playing Alex Brown. He's a local Pacific Northwest up-and-coming amateur player here from Oregon area. He just got off a big race he had, trying to replicate one of those pro events. Did a race to 100 with a friend of his, Trevor, and they went the distance, and I think Alex Brown did win it 100 to 80 something, 83.
That's a marathon of a session.
Yeah, so Alex definitely the underdog, but has potential, and I've seen him play. Definitely likes to play on the big tables. But I think he's got to get back in this match by leveraging his safety play. He's not gonna crush it with outlandish exhibition shots. At least might be too little, too late for that. So just have to play really high percentage pool. I think that's the way to go when you get down early in these matches. Don't think the 1 ball passes the 7, so might have to just see a sort of a stun follow safety here. Plenty of balls to hide behind for Raymond. And he's got a natural path to send the 1-up table off of 2 rails. We can use the pink, black, and 9 ball. Screwing back. Yeah, he's drawing back for the 8 ball there. And would have really liked to be tight to that back of that black 8 ball since.
Yeah, he's going to give Alex a jump opportunity here, and with the 1 sitting close to the pocket.
And the pros are so good nowadays. This is a pretty high percent chance for a lot of the top players. So even though Raymond's got the hook and Alex may or may not get out of it, I think something for Raymond to take into account, just screw back a little bit more. The difference of being glued to the back of the ball versus having a jump shot is slowly becoming a world of difference at the top level here in these matchroom events.
Definitely.
Fortunate for Raymond, though, 2 balls way back down table, so unlikely that Alex is going to get shape here. So you're kind of just playing for initiative in the next safety battle. And this is a decent result. If he doesn't give a shot up, yeah, not too bad.
Looks like Raymond will probably be kicking at this 1. Do you think he just tries to kick the 1 to move it close to the 6? What do you think his approach will be here?
Yeah, I think the kick and stick is a little bit far away. He might be going in 2 rails behind this. And I don't mind 2 rails if you catch the 1 thin and send the cue ball down the right side of the table. That's kind of a nice situation. But you can also catch it a little bit on that same side of the 1 off of 1 rail, which is maybe easier to gauge. You really just want to get kind of separation, push the cue ball down the right side of the table. A lot of good things can happen. And like you said, push the 1 towards the 6. There's a lot of stuff to keep it and contain in that area. Looks like 1 rail here. Needs to catch it partial, and it's going to get the separation, but the speed's going to be a bit too quick. Might not like his next shot at the table. But like we said, I think Alex has to focus here and keep control at the table when he's here. Force a mistake from Raymond. That's the way you get back in these matches. So Nicholas De Leon is in a close one against Sue Orr. 5-4. Nicholas leading.
Excellent shot from Alex. That's the opener that he needed.
Yeah, now just needs to capitalize. 4 ball's a little tricky, but it does pass the 9 into the right corner pocket. And these tables are playing quick, so you can go either direction in this on this 2-3. I think the preference is to come and screw back, draw back 2 rails into the line of the shot for the 3. He hit that a bit fast, but he managed to not flirt with the side pocket, so.
Yeah, he fell into position pretty well.
Yeah, he's okay. I think I would like to have a little bit more angle, but this is all right. And I think the same kind of shot here, coming 2 rails into the gap between the purple and the green on the left part of the table. He's choosing to go 1 rail, which is fine if you have the speed down right, but benefit of the other route is that you're getting in pretty straight on the 4 and maybe a slight angle towards the purple next. So here, he's a bit too steep and he's going to be possibly running into some extra traffic. So
do you think he tries to maybe stun draw just to avoid running into the 8?
Yeah, he can go around the 8 for sure. The problem with that shot is he's going to have to put some more pace on it. But I think you're right. I think he can stun draw and hold it. Yeah, the side spin did kick in well there. And he's just a little bit out of line on this shot. Having some extra distance. Would have liked to be straighter on the purple, and I think that goes down to the 3 to the 4 there. Could have been pretty straight on the 4 almost automatically, but now it's a take the medicine and a nice recovery there. He's got an angle where he can follow forward off of the left long rail, but might be flirting with one of the points on this side pocket. It all depends on how hard he hits it and how quickly that topspin takes with these newer tables. Yeah, he hit it at that nice punching speed. And that's a good shot. So if you're Alex, now you're back in line. You have to get out here and capitalize.
Raymond's definitely been riding the momentum this match, so to have Alex come in and take a point will at least give him a momentum shift.
Yeah, this is almost feels like a do or die here for Alex. Yeah, good use of spin there. And those are the type of shots that you're going to have to shoot on these slick cloths and fast tables. Really use the spin to get you back in line and keep your speed. Not so much cue ball power. And a nice little angle there for coming up table for the 9. Knocks it down on the board. Alex Brown avoiding the sweep, and it should calm his nerves a bit. We're going to take a quick look at our sponsors. World Nineball Tour hosted here, brought to you by Ox Billiards in Seattle, Washington at the Nineball Open in Seattle. QTech, our head sponsor. Thank you to Matchroom for bringing this event here. We've also got Table Fitters Billiard Service out in Idaho. Zach doing some good work. Andy Billiard Cloth sponsoring the tournament and the club here for the cloth these players are playing on. Sandro Menzel Photography. He's a great photographer for pool players, does a lot of tournaments here in the Northwest, Oregon, Washington. And Littman Lights bringing you the good action here on these tables.
Thank you to everyone joining on the Ox YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch pages, as well as those folks over at the Matchroom Pool YouTube page. We really appreciate you sweating this action with us on this Saturday morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're tuning in.
Yeah, and show us some love. Drop us a like. Subscribe to our channels and show some Matchroom love as well. We're here just trying to grow the sport and maybe uphold a little bit of a higher standard on the whole industry as a whole. And unfortunate for Alex, gets the 1 down in the side, but no look at the 2. Solid break though. Hit him pretty well. Cue ball path was almost perfect, as you like to see it kind of crossing the middle part of the rack a few times along the 2-diamond line. Looks like he's going to be playing the safety here. Needs to bump the 2 underneath the 6 a bit if he wants to go up table. It looks like he's just separating here. And this is not bad. The thing about this type of safety is you got to get the full ball safety, otherwise you're leaving this thin snick off the bottom edge as a response. Don't know if he has an edge, so he's going to be looking to play 2 rails in behind the 2, try to make it in the side pocket. Did pretty well there to separate. Something always feels natural about that 2-rail escape. It feels so natural to separate the balls. I don't know what it is, if it's the angle that you attack the ball with, or what it is exactly.
Looks like we've had a couple other matches finish up here this morning. Rick Glenn defeated Kyle Kleindl 7-3. Jack Kiske defeated Angelo Elegino 7-5. Nick DeLeon defeated Sue Orr 7-4. Do have some other upcoming matches on our Ox YouTube page.
Yeah, check out the second live stream we have running. We've got 4 tables being streamed on the same view.
Dan Louie is currently up over Masahiro Nakahara, 5-2.
Look at this safety from Alex.
Yeah. Good job on his part trying to lock up Raymond.
This is, I think, exactly the thing Alex needs to get back in the game. Play some simple safeties, force some mistakes from his opponent, throw him off his rhythm, and then really capitalize once you get in.
We have a pretty exciting upcoming local match here between Bo Bologna and Aman Sunar. Both of these players are been working really hard, up and coming.
Yeah, they played each other here on the Ox stream a few times in the past.
Aman was actually a last-minute replacement for a player that had to drop out. Our next TV match after this one will be between Jesse Johnson and Robert Niemeyer.
Yeah, another set of locals here. B-side action, a good safety from Alex, forcing a mistake and the ball in hand from Raymond. The balls are pretty much out in the open. I think the toughest shot gets a little bit weird is from the pink 4 to the purple 5. It's going to be a full table positional shot, but also 9-ball kind of in the way for a lot of the cut angles on the 5.
Do you think he tries to get cue ball middle table and just takes a bit more difficult slice on that 5 into the bottom left?
Yeah, I think that's the most natural, at least, to attack it. You really would like to be sort of where the 8-ball is and along the right side of the table to kind of stun one cushion in behind the 6 into the same pocket. That would be ideal position if I were to choose, but it's going to probably have to go the route you described, as it's a much bigger window to get into where the 4 is. Yeah, I think he's just going to follow his cue ball one rail here and play down the center of the table. Anywhere on this line where he's pointing his cue, he should be okay. You can go even as far as to the right, maybe right spot dead in the center of the table. He's got a good window to play into here.
I think maybe just play this with a little bit of top right, just a hair, just to make sure that you're centered coming back down.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with his shirt there on the 8-ball. I think he's pretty perfect.
Yeah, this is a great angle.
He's going to be playing 2 rails here. Needs to decide which side of the 8 he's going to go to.
Yeah, I like where he's pointing. Seems like he's going to go long around the outside of that 8.
Yep. Yeah, someone asking, Jesse Johnson coming up is PNW Pool Thing YouTube. He does a live stream out of his house. So do check out his channel. We'll shout him out when he gets out in the stream.
Great speed and position from Alex. I think he just draws back on this one.
Yeah, you got to catch this with a sort of a lot of draw and a lot less speed. Needs this to kind of hold before the side pocket and then really catch that rail. So it's going to need a little bit of right-hand side as well to zip up the left-hand side of the table. It's a bit more of a stroke timing shot. He does have enough angle, I think, to sort of play the stun draw shot off of the left rail to the right quadrant of the table, upper right quadrant. And that's kind of what he's choosing to do here. And I think that shot favors the slicker cloth, since you don't have to do as much with the cue ball.
Definitely.
When your table's worn in, that type of shot so much more difficult because the cloth just plays so much more slowly. But he's perfect on the 7 now.
Yeah, check this with a little bit of inside right.
He's looking good here, Alex. Heart of the pocket.
All right, that's 2 in a row for Alex.
All right, Alex Brown getting a couple on the board now. Getting set off to break. And he's capped the 9-ball. Is this going to go in?
Oh, a golden break from Alex.
Golden break. Wow.
2 in this game so far.
So gets one back from Raymond Linares. Take a look at that replay. Catches the 9-ball full in the face and actually banks it cross table off of one rail. You can see banks it into the side, knocks it up straight into the heart of the pocket.
Phenomenal break.
Yeah, nice shot there. So a quick one and 3-5 all of a sudden. Like we said, Alex got to play that efficient type of game. It's the only way he's going to really get back in this one. Doesn't need to play the hero shots. All right. I think Alex is back from his break, ready to break off here in rack number 9. Fresh off a golden break, can he not repeat? He did cannon into the 9 again the same way, although caught it on the top side instead. And
unfortunately, it ends up being a dry break.
thank you, Doug. Yes, believe it or not, this is using OBS Studio.
Yeah, Christian was very proud of this NFL end zone or red zone type of setup for the other 4 tables, and yeah, it's turned out to be quite the gem.
Yeah, we just decided to do something new, and so far so good. Obviously next year we'll hope to improve it, make it better, bigger and better. Maybe get a camera per table would be ideal. But yeah, if you want to help support that dream and vision, drop us a like and a follow. We also take donations as well. Get some extra cameras and get some extra coverage for the rest of the players. And Raymond there with a bit of a mistake. Result has been okay for him as he's overcut it. Hasn't left it. Sort of that slow rolling spin shot that they were talking about here at the clinic. Tyler Steyer and Johan Roysink here were at Ox this past week doing a clinic here with some of the local folks and a couple of individual lessons, and they were talking a lot about it with this brand new cloth. You're not seeing a ton of the pros do those slow rolling spin shots. They kind of just get you into trouble with the slick conditions.
I like this attempt from Alex. Saw what he was trying to do there, just create that separation, but also send the 1 perhaps on the other side of the 8. Just caught it a little bit too much. Anthony Sadlin on the Matchroom Pool page asking for the bracket. Yes, we can go ahead and link that here. If the link disappears, though, it is on digitalpool.com. You can search WNT Seattle 9-ball open, and you should be able to find that. But we'll go ahead and post that in the chat here.
That 1 ball did go, it just overcut it.
And now he's broken out the problem cluster here with the 2-3. You are very welcome, Anthony. Thank you for joining us. Caught that one a little thick. Good position for the 2, but unfortunately the 1 is sitting now.
Yeah, Doug, if you're interested, send me a DM or an email at christian@oxbilliards.com with your username, and I'll get back to you if you want any details on the setup. I think it's a decently economical setup in terms of bang for your buck. Cameras here are pretty affordable for the quality they provide, in my opinion, and then it just comes down to computer hardware and Ethernet for the win, in my opinion.
Yeah, you definitely want to hardwire these connections. Don't want any interference with the frequency.
So he's looking to kick at this off of one rail, and he's accounting maybe a bit too much for the slide, in my opinion. Unless he's working with a bit of right spin. It's going to be close to the 3, I think. Yeah, okay, he slow rolled it, and he got this perfect. I'm going to say any harder than that, he's going to come short into that 3 ball, since even though the new cloth is playing a little slippery and starting to break in, these Rasson cushions do play pretty straight. They kind of shorten off the angle that you're coming in. And I think it has to do with kind of the cushion profile being seated a bit higher, aiming down at the ball, kind of sandwiching it under the table. This is a good safety here from Raymond. I think he needs one big mistake from Alex to get back on the hill and get close to closing out this match. One big mistake and maybe a couple of good runouts.
Nicholas asking on the WNT chat, what is the number by the player name? That larger number is the Fargo rate of that particular player. Unfortunately, Digital Pool has not loaded all the Fargo rates of each player, but that's okay. So Alex Brown is a 600 and Raymond Linares is a 701. The other number in parentheses is what they are racing to. This is a B-side match, so it's a race to 7. Our A-side matches are currently a race to 9. In the final 16 tomorrow, the bracket will be redrawn, and it'll be a race to 11, followed by a final of a race to 13. Unfortunate outcome there from Alex. He didn't really have much of a look there, but now giving up the 2 to Raymond. Don't really see too many positional problems here. I guess the 3 to the 4, but other than that.
Yeah, 3 to the 4 I think is just a lot of distance to travel up table. It's the main thing. And the 6 and the 7 are a bit tricky. So it all depends on what angle he wants here. He's playing out to the middle of the table and doesn't want to get too straight.
Yeah, he can hit this with draw coming up off the rail near the 3 to get back on the 4.
He is a bit straight, but yeah, you're right. Just draw it back. Definitely has the angle. A little bit of right-hand side to grab the cushion and help him up table. Well done. This is another tricky shot here. It's a bit of a slow rolling spin shot with some left-hand side. And these shots can get away from you if you understroke them. Depending on the deflection of your cue too, you sometimes with the really, really low deflection shafts have to aim this a bit thicker. Just to account for the extra swerve and throw that happens on the object ball. He's playing with a high left ball just to get in the middle of the table somewhere because he wants an angle on the purple. Yeah, this is going to get a little bit straight.
Don't fall on the 6. Okay, he's good.
Could have probably done there with just a high ball if he wanted to. But that left-hand side helps him not only make the ball but kind of get a cleaner contact on the shot. Avoid any sort of skid mishaps. Yeah, I agree. Andy Cloth is underrated, I would say. Plays really, really close to how Simonis does. Obviously, there's a few subtleties, and it's never going to be perfect, but playing really great for us for this tournament, and excited to see how it wears in, and heard it does really, really well on humid conditions, Andy Cloth. So a lot of the places down south, Florida and Carolinas, those areas, really where this Andy Cloth shines, I think.
Yeah, and this particular color looks really good on the Wisson table, as well as the stream.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, over on table 2, looks like Masahiro took one back, so it's now 4-5 in favor of Dan Louis still.
Ooh, 4-5 on table 2. We might have to check in. And a big miss here from Raymond. It's going to open the door for Alex with an easy starter. This could be a momentum shift in this match, as Raymond was off to a quick start. 4-0, 5-0, I think. But Alex Brown has had some opportunities, although he's created some for himself as well. He's got a nice angle on the 7. It's a little bit straight, so he might just choose to draw his cue ball back a bit. He doesn't want to be straight on the 8 ball, is the key here. If he has enough angle, I'd like stunning it into the rail and out into the center of the table. But if he's too straight, might just have to play sort of the inside angle shot. And I think it's gone a bit wrong here for Alex.
Yeah, the angle is not as well as he wanted it.
He's going to have to punch forward, I think, or, yeah, forward 2 cushions, force follow.
Yeah, I definitely like that, as opposed to trying to draw.
Oh.
Little lucky ticky there.
Yeah, it's always likelihood when you're going on that force follow shots. Happens a lot more often than you might think, but it almost never leaves you with the scenario you want. Is the reason usually for the force follow is to zip your cue ball off multiple rails. Yeah, short side draw was an option there, but would have been tricky because overrunning your cue ball might mean scratching in the lower right corner. So it's a thin one, and he's going for it and knocks it down. What a shot from Alex Brown to bring it within 1. Just taking a look at that nice cut into the lower right corner. Does catch the rail on the way in, but since the cloth is playing a little bit slick, a little more generous for the pocket there, and he did good to control his cue ball.
Hit it with good speed too, just to make sure. Didn't want to float it over.
Yep. Nice break off here from Alex Brown, once again making the 1 in the side. It's been pretty efficient with this break on the TV table so far. It's got a combination here, long distance if he wants to take it on. I think like we were saying earlier, back then when down 5 or 0 or whatever is probably not the time to take on those hero shots. You want to play as efficient of pool as you can. But there does come a point where if you want to really take it to your opponent, you might want to take a big shot on, and I think this could be one of those moments.
Yeah, I totally agree here. I think this combo is in play.
And he's knocked both balls in. Really
Perfect.
nice. What a shot there from Alex. And he's perfect in the 3. Chance for a break and run here. Would really put the pressure back on Raymond, as Raymond almost off to a flawless start, and a few mistakes opening the door means he's probably going to start thinking in his head what's going on. Here he's got enough angle to just come across one rail. He tried to hold it, and he caught the ball thick to the pocket, and that's a mistake from Alex that might cost him.
Yeah, this is a pretty good opportunity for Raymond to capitalize.
This is a little bit thin on the 3, but I think he is going to go for it, and he's got a wide open half of the table to play into for the 4 into the upper left corner pocket. So I think I like just playing this with a high ball and the tiniest amount of left-hand side to keep it on line. And play this 2 rails up and down table. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to control the speed, but Raymond has shown he's a bit more in tune, I think, to the table. This is a perfect shot for a right-hander, too. Just has to bear down here and knock this in. The important thing here is just making the 3. And how he cuts it into the pocket is going to influence the cue ball path. So if he does rattle it or overcut it, you're going to see a little bit of a difference in cue ball positioning than what he intends, I assume. But I'm thinking just playing this mostly high ball and just play up and down the rails, stay along the line of that 1 diamond on the short rails. Like we said, did catch it a bit thick to the pocket and cause his cue ball to run into the purple. So now, what do you do? Another slow spinning shot?
Yeah, I think a slow spin, 4 into the top left, obviously, but
Such a nervy shot, though.
yeah, because the cue ball can get away. He definitely needs to try to hold it about mid-table after going 2 rails.
I think he's going to
Oh,
play
he's going to
safe.
play safe, yeah.
Smart shot from Raymond. Knows the importance of the match and not worth it. Unlucky bump slightly there on the purple because that pink was going to come down underneath the 5 really nicely had it not cannoned it. So I think Alex got a few balls to play in behind. He can play in behind the purple, the 9. Lots of options. What do you do? What do you do?
I think sending the 4 to the right side of the table and the cue ball bit in between that 9 and 5 on the left side here would be ideal. Hopefully that 4 doesn't run too much. Oh, that's going to be, might be a costly error here.
Yeah, the window is there. So a successful safety from Raymond, forcing the mistake from Alex to leave a nice easy starter. Think there's too much angle. This is going to play this up and down table to the middle of the table. No, he's able to hold it. Nice shot.
Sorry about that. I set makeup to try to like smooth it out.
He's got an angle here to just play a high ball. 1 rail. This is going to get a little bit close to the 7.
That speed picked up a little bit, but fell into a decent position here.
Yeah, fortunate to have a lot of room for error on that. I think we're just going to have to see him use a little bit of the talent here and roll this ball into position. So. Perfect in the 9. So Raymond to get on the hill in a huge rack. It's a big shot. Fortunately, he's not on the rail. Good speed on the 8 ball to get him here. Nicely done there from Raymond. Pockets that ball.
All right, folks, we are set here for the 11th rack. Raymond Linares to break. on the hill. Wasn't able to catch the 9 coming back into the rack. And also, unfortunately, a dry break from Raymond. Quick update on our Table 2 match. It is now tied 5-5 between Dan Louie and Masahiro Nakahara. Todd Hargrove on Table 5 is up 2-0 over Jeremy Gradwall. And on Table 4, looks like Michael Silvius and Geronimo Morales are about to set off.
Yeah, we're going to have to pan over to that match with Dan Louie as it gets closer, if this one concludes early.
Sorry I didn't wear my shirt.
Sorry we didn't have this.
Like I always do.
This is going to be okay. The 7 is mostly blocking the middle pocket for the bank shot. No, I don't think he's going to go offensive here. There's a huge wall to hide behind. Just roll this in.
Nice defense attempt there by Raymond, but unfortunately the 1 came out a little bit further, as well as his cue ball. I know he wanted that cue much more behind the 2. Alex Brown going to need to swing around this pack here after potting the 1.
And he's done nicely there. Needs his cue ball to run past the Brown. And his name is Brown, because he knows where that cue ball is going. Nice shot. It's a big moment here for Alex. The 4-9-8 situation, not really offensive there into the lower left corner pocket, so we're going to probably see Alex play a safety on the pink 4, maybe try to shoot it into the left middle pocket. I don't know. Another match update too. Dan Louie's on the hill against Masahiro Nakahara. They're in a B-side match and a close one too. If it gets close, we're going to zoom in over there really quick just to see what's going on. He's got a decent angle to run into something here if he wants, but don't know if it's worth it. There is a tight window underneath on the bottom cushion to shoot the pink 4 into the right middle pocket, but I think it's too risky to go for that on this shot. I think you might just choose to play cube on the center of the table and just play a roll-up safety for the pink 4 here. Yeah, that's kind of what he's done, but he's a bit far from the 4.
Yeah, Doug, I agree. I like seeing some new names I'm not familiar with. The great thing about this particular tournament is that we do have World Nineball Tour ranking players here, but it is nice to also showcase some local talent. And when those two meet, it's always a joy to watch.
Yeah, especially when you know some of the players playing a big name. A few WNT Tour pros here, WNT pros playing, and there is a bit of importance in the prize money here, as it will influence some of the standings in the Mosconi Cup race as well as the Reyes Cup race. I think the big matchup people are looking to see is Oscar Dominguez and Tyler Steyer. They're both separated by about 6K points or so in the rankings.
Which is almost the difference between first and second.
Yeah. You got Jonas Suto as well, who's, I think, in the top 10 somewhere for the European side of things. So a lot of battles to be made. No one player is probably going to qualify for Mosconi off of this tournament alone, but it's going to give some players maybe a bit more cushion, or otherwise heading into some of the majors like the Hanoi Open. That's a big one everybody wants to watch. That's the one that's going to decide who qualifies automatically in those third spots. So on that previous safety, Alex was a little bit unlucky that he tied up the purple 5, the green 6, but as a result now has to play the breakout and just misses it there. I don't think he has it into the...
Do you think he goes for the combo bank on the 9? Oh, I don't know. That 5 is actually a little bit closer to the 6 than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it might go into the side pocket. It's awfully tight, but I think there is a path. It's just... He's going to be running into the 6 and pushing it towards the 8, the black 8. It's tough to say. Might be, with this, though, his only real offensive look. You can thin off the right edge of the purple, though, and send the cue ball up table, 2 rails in behind the brown. The brown 7, it's not the worst shot, but he might sell out a look into it to the right corner. It's going to go offensive here, I think. And like you said, maybe the 9. Oh, no. I was wrong. He's going to try to go off the brown and in the drink there for Alex Brown. And could that be his last shot of the tournament here in the Seattle Open? Big mistake. Unfortunate to go off of the 7 there.
I think if Raymond navigates this well, yeah, that will be his last shot.
He chose to go thick, too, into that purple, and I think I preferred going thin off of it and sending the cue ball short of the left side pocket, 2 rails up into the left corner area, just to create the separation more than anything. Maybe he was playing it short just to push the purple towards the other balls and not leave it on into the right corner pocket. But yeah, beautiful chance here for Raymond. He wants this to hold up a bit. It's gonna go too far, so needs to work his cue ball up and down table.
Yeah, do you think it would have been better to just put a little more oomph on that and allow it to bounce off that top rail?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Since
I think
you needed to stay on that side of the table anyway.
Exactly. That's the type of shot where you almost always want to play the extra rail just to come towards your ball and hit it at that little bit higher pace. It's when you try to hold it a little too much that you get into trouble like that, but he's done okay here to recover on this black 8. This is the key shot here, though. It's all about stroke and lower speed. Obviously,
I think it just draws back a little bit on this.
yeah, low right hand spin. This tip just has to stroke through this ball cleanly.
Looks like he's opting for top.
Might just want to roll it in, I guess. Oh, he had the glance off the 9. It's a nice shot. Didn't see it. Well done here for Raymond Linares to close out the match, advance on the B side in this year's World Nineball Seattle Open, World Nineball Tour Seattle Open.